Okay, time to do some yoga. Let's come to a nice, comfortable seat. You can scoot forward in your chair a little bit so you can really root down into your sit bones. Just peek down at your feet, adjust them so that your ankles are underneath your knees, feet about hips distance apart. And then let's give the shoulders a little roll out here. Ooh, you're like me, they're a little extra crunchy today. I don't even know what to blame that on. Just life, just being human. Nice work. Let's start to roll forward. Good, and then roll back again. And then kind of like maybe slow it down, but really exaggerate the motion. So your shoulders come up towards your ears and then you press them back. You feel the shoulder blade squeeze and then you release down. Couple more times like that. And then go ahead, place your hands on your thighs. Your shoulder blades are releasing down your back. They're gently squeezing in towards each other and you're rooting into your sit bones. Your shoulders are stacking over your hips, your sit bones. Let's just take the gaze out in front of us, soft and gentle. And then you can just allow your eyelids to close. There's like a gentle tucking of your chin. You're not going to overdo it, but it feels like it's dropping. And at the same time that that's happening, it feels like your heart is lifting up towards your chin. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then to open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. A few more times like that, just at your pace. With each exhale, you're letting any stress from the week, you're just letting it go, any stress from the day. So really giving yourself permission to land inside your body, start to pay attention to how things are feeling physically. You're giving yourself permission to pay attention to your breath. So it's going to become more focused, more even, more steady, maybe a little deeper. And you can go ahead and seal your lips here if you haven't already. You're going to start to inhale through your nose and then also exhale through your nose. You might be constricting the sides of your throat ever so gently, so you start to find that Ujjayi breath. It sounds like ocean waves rolling in and out, or like that Darth Vader kind of a sound. You don't have to overdo it, but it should be audible to you. This breath helps to build heat in the body. It gives us something to focus our attention on. All of that being said, some days it just feels like a little much. If that's where you're at, just let that Ujjayi breath go. So you're just inhaling and exhaling through your nose. You're not constricting the sides of your throat. It's just, it feels a little easier. Check in with your shoulders again. Have they started to creep up towards your ears? So just remind them to soften down. Observe if there's any tension in your face and jaw. Soften in those places as well. Notice if your toes or fingers, if there's tension there. If so, let that tension go. So yes, it does take some effort to sit nice and tall in this Tadasana pose, but we also want to temper that with a sense of ease as well. So we're not overworking or exerting the places that we don't need to. And then finally, we're just going to be here for a few moments, soaking up the stillness, soaking up that sound of your breath. Right, so from here, go ahead and gently blink your eyes open. Welcome to class, Amy. And then from here, we're going to keep this nice and easy. We're going to do a little forward folding. So you might not go very deep starting out, but you're going to start to hinge forward at your waist. Chin is going to drop towards your chest. Maybe you start to lengthen your hands down your legs towards the floor any amount. So you're rounding in your spine. You can just imagine that there's a weight attached to your head, your forehead, and it's helping you to release down a little bit. And then nice and slow, keep that round in your back. You're going to start to stack your vertebrae on top of each other as you come back to your mountain pose. And again, let's just roll the shoulders back a couple times when we get there. And then let's roll them forward. Keep them forward. So you're getting that rounding in your thoracic. And then again, just start to fold in any amount. And it does not need to be deep. You might keep your hands on your thighs, especially if this feels really intense in the thoracic spine, the cervical spine. A couple of breaths hanging in this forward fold. And then keep that rounding in your back as you slowly roll on up. You are certainly welcome to use your hands to help you press up if that feels better. Coming to that nice tall seat, your head stacks on top of your spine last. Roll those shoulders back. And then let's roll forward. Let's do this a couple more times. So keep that feeling of shoulders rolling forward. It helps you to find that rounding in your upper spine. Just folding in. Maybe each time it feels like you're releasing a little further into this Uttanasana. Breath smooth and steady. On your next inhale, keeping that rounding in your spine until the very last minute. Come on up. And a few times rolling those shoulders back. And then we're going to roll them forward a few times. Keep them forward so you find that rounding. Drop your chin towards your chest. Roll on down. Uttanasana. Lengthening your spine, tractioning out the discs between your vertebrae. And then inhaling. Keeping that rounded sensation until the very last moment. Okay, give those shoulders one roll out. And then find your nice mountain pose sitting tall. Hands on your thighs. Welcome, Tammy. And then let's go ahead and just stay seated tall, but drop our chin towards our chest. Notice how the back of your neck is feeling. For most of us, it is pretty tight. So in particular, this first one, you might have to back out a little bit. And you'll know that you need to back out a little bit if those shoulders are creeping up towards your ears. So just remind them that they don't need to participate so actively here. Do a little check-in with your breath. Find that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. Let's inhale, lift the chin. And then as we exhale, we're just going to take that right ear towards the right shoulder. You're going to start to feel some stretching through the left side of your neck. And again, this very first one of the day can be really intense, so do less if you need to. Let's stay here like this, the right ear releasing towards that right shoulder, but drop your chin a little bit. And that's going to shift where you're getting the sensation. We're just going to hold here for several breaths. Go ahead and lift your chin. Take an exhale here. And then inhale back to center. Let's come back down the center. So chin drops towards chest. Shoulder blades are releasing towards your sit bones. So again, you're keeping the shoulders out of the equation. Inhale, chin lifts. Exhale, drop that left ear towards your left shoulder. Little check-in with your shoulder blades. Make sure they're not creeping up towards your ears. How does this right side of your neck feel differently than the left side? And then from here, just tuck your chin down a little bit. It's going to take the sensation probably a little more to the back of the body, the back of the neck. Lift your chin, take an exhale, and then inhale back to center. Again, exhale, chin drops towards chest. So just kind of moving nice and slow through this, just repeating today. And as we're doing that, as we're visiting everything for a second or third or fourth time, we're just noticing if the muscles around the neck, the shoulders are starting to feel a little different, if they're starting to give way a little bit, we're finding some more space. Good. Inhale, chin lifts. Exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Send the breath to this left side of your neck, those scalene muscles. Visualize it creating a little space, a little ease. And then chin tucks. Feeling the intensification of that stretch, noticing where it shifts, how it's different. Inhale, lift your chin, take an exhale here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, chin drops towards chest, both shoulders, shoulder blades. They're heavy, they're releasing down towards your sit bones. Good, let's inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, left ear drops towards left shoulder. So you start to feel that stretch in the right side of your neck. Observe how this pose is feeling on this, the second time around on this side. And of course, just keeping that breath smooth and steady. From here, tuck your chin. Observe where the sensation shifts, where that stretch goes to. And then from here, lift your chin on your inhale, full complete exhale. And then inhale, up to center. All right, let's go ahead and just make any little adjustments you need to. Check in with your posture again and make sure that your ankles are under your knees. And I've been thinking it's been a while since we've done any like finger and toe stretching. So let's move in that direction a little bit today. So let's start out with our hands. Let's just go ahead and reach our right hand forward. You can just take a few breaths like this. Let's point the fingers up towards the ceiling. You might even be feeling a stretch, bottom part of the arm. And then go ahead and release the fingers down, and maybe you even try to curl the fingers towards you. You're going to feel a stretch on the top of the wrist, top of the hand, which can be really nice. One more time, go ahead. Spread the fingers. You can almost think like a downward facing dog hand. Point the fingers up towards the ceiling. And then start to release the fingers down. Maybe curling the fingers towards your wrist is surprisingly difficult. Definitely a nice big stretch. Pretty intense. Good. Let's just go ahead and release that arm down, and we'll do that to the second side, and then we'll do a little more finger stretching back on the original side. So inhaling, reaching that left arm forward. It's like a one arm downward dog. Noticing how this side might feel different, not left hand. Keeping that breath smooth and steady. Go ahead and start to release the fingers towards the floor. Ooh, maybe curl them in. I can barely do it on this side. Keep breathing, particularly if this is really intense. And then reach those fingers up towards the ceiling again. You can think a little downward facing dog. You might even just envision that you're pulling those fingers back towards you. It's not going to happen. And then releasing the fingertips down, maybe curling them in any amount. Breath smooth and steady, especially if this is, providing a lot of sensation in your body. Good, go ahead and release that hand down. And then let's go ahead and stretch that right arm forward. And then just moving nice and slow, taking your time, few seconds on each finger. So this time using the strength of that left hand, you can pull those fingers back towards you any amount. So it's going to intensify things. You're being mindful to, challenge yourself the right amount. So definitely don't want to overdo it here. So listening to your body is going to help you to determine what your edge is. Good, and then you can move on to your left hand as you're ready. Good. Again, just go ahead and release the arms down by your sides. Give the shoulders a little roll out. And then one final little thing here. So you can just keep your elbows bent, but we're just going to do some like little finger pops. We'll start out slow. So making a tight little fist. Let's just take a few breaths there. And then go ahead and really spread the fingers wide, extend them out. And then go ahead and grip again. And then spread. A couple more times like that, just moving a little slower. And then, as feels good to you, you could keep it slower, but if you want to start to move a little faster, kind of like you're flicking water off your hands, and your hands will actually get a little tired doing this. You all know I'm just trying to get Zoom to do fireworks. Take little breaks if you need to. You're gonna start to feel this in the forearms. Woo. All right. And then let's go ahead and just let that go. And it might feel really good to give the arms, the hands a little shake out. All right. Come back to your nice tall mountain pose. And then let's just do a little side to side stretching. And then we'll move into some just seated cat cow to start to warm up the spine forward and back. So releasing your arms by your sides, really root into your sit bones. As you inhale, take that left arm up and over. Feel that extension through the left side of your body. Exhale, release down. Inhale, right arm reaches up and over. And exhale, release. Inhaling. And exhale. Good. Continuing like this. Flowing with your breath. You're certainly welcome to close your eyes if that appeals to you and you feel steady and stable in your chair. Enjoying the sensation of flowing with the breath. So finding this rhythm in your body can feel very much like a moving meditation, has this calming quality on the mind. Nice work. You take breaks whenever you need to. But the next time you're leaning off to the right, let's go ahead and stay there for a few breaths. Notice if your left sit bone is popping up off your chair. Can you anchor down there more? So you might be coming out of the side stretch just a little bit, but it'll actually feel a little more intense if you're really grounding. The arm gets tired, you just release it down, especially that top one. Maybe you start to bring your gaze up underneath that top arm. Almost like you're wrapping these right ribs up towards the ceiling. These look terrific. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, release that left arm down. And then inhale, right arm comes up and over. Anchoring into that right sit bone. So as you press there, you start to stretch through this right side waist all the way through those fingers. You're keeping your breath smooth and steady, nice and even. You might feel this sensation of wrapping these left ribs up towards the ceiling ever so gently. Good, one more deep inhale here. Full exhale. And then inhale. Come back up to center. Let's take our hands to our thighs. And then as you inhale, you're going to rock forward on your sit bones. Shoulder heads press back. Exhale, we round in. So you find that chin dropping towards chest feeling, rounding in your spine. And then moving like this. You're moving at a pace that feels right with you. It connects with your breath. Just keeping in mind that some days it feels good to move a little faster. Some days it feels better to move a little slower. So things are always changing. Yes, we do the same poses over and over again. Most of us have done these cat-cows probably hundreds, if not thousands of times. But they're always slightly different. There's always something different going on. And see if you can tune into what that is for you today in this moment. Let's just do several more rounds here. Just keeping it really simple and basic today. And again, observing how as we continue to move our spine in this direction. So as we warm things up, we do find more space, more mobility. And that being said, if there's anything going on in your body, injuries, just places in your body that are tighter, maybe that space and mobility feel a little elusive. Can you be okay with that? Can you give yourself the space to accept that, to let it be enough? A few more rounds here. All right, so let's say just finish this cycle you're on. Come back to a nice tall seat. And we're going to move into some hip opening, hip stretching with the option to kind of stretch out toes as well. So this is going to look different for all of us. Can do all or none of the parts. So as you know, you're welcome to open your right leg up any amount. So just finding that hip stretch. If it is available in your body, you might take that right ankle and cross it above your left knee. So they're both good. Remember that side to side, they might look a little different. But again, let's just be whatever position you're in. Let's just take, a nice good minute or two here in this pose. You're paying attention to how this outer right hip is feeling. If you're in this variation, I find that I actually get a really nice stretch on the inseam of the leg as well. So you could be observing that, noticing that. And of course, if you are here and you want a little more, you use the strength of your arm to press that knee back behind you. If you are in the seated version and you feel like you have a little more space, you use the strength of your arm to help press that knee down towards the ground. We never want knee sensation. So if there's any of that, flexing the foot can often help. It just serves to engage the muscles around the knee. So it makes this stretch a little safer. You are in this, ankle over knee version and it does feel wonky in your knee, maybe go ahead and release that foot down and just find that hip opening instead. And then connect to that sound of your breath. So we're going to be here a little longer. If you are on this version and you have any interest in opening up the ankle and the toes, you can follow along. If you are in this version here, I invite you to just do the wrists and the fingers again if you want to, or you can just skip it and stay where you're at. But from here, let's go ahead and use your left hand to grab that right foot. And you can make some little circles with that ankle. And you can switch directions. Good, you can come back to center and then let's just go forward so you can kind of pull the toes down. And then back, so you're getting that extension and flexion of the foot joint, which can feel really intense. If you're on the floor here, you could even kind of come up onto toes. That would work. And just always reminding you, things look different side to side. You can always do the variations I'm offering. If they work for you, they might not. So you can also skip them, get creative. Come up with your own modifications. And then finally, if you would like to, you can use your left fingers as like a little toe spreader, which is actually quite intense. So you can kind of wedge your fingers in there any amount. And then we just take a few breaths here. Good. So whatever variation you're in, just go ahead and release your arms down by your sides. We're going to inhale, take the arms out wide. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other as you reach through your fingertips. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right. And then as you exhale, release your hands down. So if you're in this warrior two leg version, you're probably just going to keep your left hand on that left thigh. You can apply a little pressure. And if you're in this variation here, this left hand can go anywhere on your right shin. It might come to the outside of your right thigh. Really nice. Feel those left ribs wrapping around to the right. Keep your breath smooth and steady. You might be bringing your gaze to look out over that right shoulder. Let's take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, just go ahead and unwind, come back to center, and then let's find a little reverse warrior here. So let's inhale, take the arms out wide again. Root into your sit bones here. And then on your next inhale, flip that right palm up towards the ceiling. Lean off to the right, to the left rather. Feel your shoulder blades releasing down. Maybe you're bringing your gaze up underneath that top arm. Good work. Think a little core here as you inhale, arms reach out wide. Again, you come upright. Exhale, release your hands down. And we're going to take that sequence to the second side. So make your way back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And just know that because you did a variation on the last side, doesn't mean that you'll be doing it on this side. So again, always making adjustments as you need. So either finding your warrior two leg, keep that knee over that ankle or the ankle slightly forward, maybe using your hand to gently press back, or ankle above that right thigh. Again, if there is any sensation in this left knee, go to the warrior two version, or make sure that you're flexing this right foot a lot and see if that takes some of the sensation out. And right away, you're getting curious about how this side feels in your body as compared to the last side. Is this your tighter side? Does it feel about the same? Return to that sound of your breath, particularly if the attention is wandering a lot today. And then again, if you're in this version that I'm doing right now, this seated pigeon pose, and you have access to your foot and ankle with your right hand, we're going to start to make some circles. If you're not doing this version and you just wanted to get into your wrists and fingers again on the left side, that also works, or you could skip all of it. And then let's switch directions. Always kind of nice to give the hands and the feet a little love. They actually work really hard for us. Kind of take it for granted. And then let's find that flexion and extension. If your left foot is on the floor and you wanted to come up onto tippy toes, that would also work. Nice job here. So finally, if you wanted to do those little toe spreaders with your fingers, kind of wedge them in any amount. And you might even kind of press your toes out against your hands, kind of trying to spread those toes. Much easier said than done. Good. And then you can go ahead and release. Arms come by your sides. Little external rotation at that shoulder socket. Palms facing slightly out. Inhale, take the arms wide. Nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, twist to the left. Really extend out through both arms. And then go ahead and release your hands down. So if you're in the warrior two legs version, that right hand is just going to rest somewhere on that right thigh. You're finding a little leverage so that you can press your shoulder heads back. Keep that openness across your heart and chest. It feels like a little cobra pose in your upper body here, even as we are twisting the spine. Your breath is smooth and steady. Gaze might be moving out over that left shoulder. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, we unwind here. Good. Inhale, arms reach out wide. And let's spin that left palm up. As you inhale, reverse your warrior. So another little side stretch here, particularly in this version. If you're doing the seated pigeon, you're going to notice that left sit bone pops up a little bit. Try to anchor there. See if that intensifies the stretching that you're getting on this left side body. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. Breath smooth and steady, nice and even, the inhale and the exhale. Good, and then as you inhale, come on up. Exhale, release your arms down. Beautiful work today. We are going to uncross that left ankle or bring the leg back in. And we're going to just move into some of our sun salutations here. So if you do have blocks, this is a great place to set them up on either side of your feet. It just serves to bring the floor a little bit closer. You can release your arms down by your sides. Just peek in with your posture. Make sure that your knees are over your ankles. You're rooting into your sit bones. I'm just going to do about 4 or 5 rounds of our Surya Namaskara here. Our Surya Namaskara, half Surya Namaskara. So as you inhale, take the arms. They can reach forward and up or out and up. Maybe you gaze up, maybe you press palms. As you exhale, you can swan dive in, or you can use your hands to help you roll on down. Think chin towards chest as you lengthen your spine. We've been here before. This is where you might press your hands into your blocks. They might also come to your shins or your thighs. Little cobra pose. Yes. Exhale, fold back in. And then inhale, you can reverse swan dive out, or you can slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, maybe using your hands. Arms reach up overhead, gaze up, press palms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. There's a few ways you can get there to do that. So know that you can mix and match these, make them your own. Inhaling, reaching up, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. These look lovely. As you exhale, you gracefully fold into your Uttanasana. Inhale, you lengthen into your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we fold back in. Inhaling, making your way back into your extended mountain pose, taking up space. Exhale, hands come to heart center. So you have 3 more of these on your own. If you feel like participating, you also might just move back to cat-cow or that side-to-side stretching, moving with your breath if that feels better in your body today. This is another place where eyes might be closed if you feel safe and stable. Sometimes that can be really nice. It just helps you to get really internal, really reflective. And you're soaking up that sound of your breath here. It's like your soundtrack. You're enjoying how it feels to move like this with the breath. You're finding lots of space in your body. You're finding this sense of gracefulness, of ease. It's definitely something very magical about these sun salutes and just flowing like this. It's good medicine. You might even challenge yourself this week to just do, a few of these every day when you think about it. It's yoga homework. When you're done with that 3rd round, and there's no rush to get there, you just pause with your palms together at your heart, maybe gently bowing your head. And you're pausing and you're checking in, you're noticing how you're feeling. Perhaps it feels as though you're sitting a little taller. There's more space in your spine. And then from here, we're going to move into our 3-part breath today. So our Viloma I breath. So you can go ahead and release your hands down to your thighs, sitting nice and tall. And as you know, some days our pranayama feels really good. Some days it feels more challenging or it just isn't working. So if that's where you're at today, you can just sit quietly. That's absolutely fine. But if you're game, we're going to be inhaling 1/3 of the way up. We'll take a little pause there. We'll inhale another 1/3 of the way up, take a little pause, and then all the way up. We'll turn the breath around, empty out. We'll take a couple of recovery breaths and then repeat that a few times. So from here, let's all take a nice deep inhale together through the nose. And a full complete exhale through the nose. So you feel completely empty. You might even feel your lower belly pull in and up a little bit. Little pause at the bottom. Inhale 1/3 of the way up to your belly button. Pause. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up. So to those floating ribs, those lower ribs, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Feel that lift of your sternum even as your shoulder blades release down your back. Pause. Turn the breath around. Exhale the air out through your nose. And then just take a couple of recovery breaths. And I should also just note, especially on these retentions, if it ever feels like you need to breathe, breathe. And as we practice this more, it does help to increase the capacity of our lungs. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose together. Full complete exhale. And then completely empty out. Inhale 1/3 of the way. Little pause. Inhale another 1/3 of the way. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath the collarbones. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. few recovery breaths at the bottom, just at your own pace. Deep inhale together. Full complete exhale through your nose. Little pause at the bottom. Inhale 1/3 of the way up, pause. Inhale another third of the way up. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. And slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Couple recovery breaths. And so I invite you to do 2 more rounds of that on your own if you would like, just at your pace. Maybe stretching out those retentions if it feels good. Maybe going a little less if that feels better. So there's certainly no rush if you're still working with that Viloma breath, but we're going to eventually all move to some form of Shavasana. And probably you're just staying exactly the way you are, but you're going to just shift the way you're feeling. So you're letting this pose be really easy, more restful. You're allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm. You're getting really internal. You're soaking up these final moments of our practice together. Of course, if it is beneficial to you and accessible to you in the space that you're in, you could do a forward fold, so resting your head on the table in front of you. You could come onto a classic Shavasana on the floor. And just be somewhere where you can be really still, really relaxed, really receptive. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityomamritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then just bring some movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers, toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out, whatever feels good to you here. So just bringing your awareness back to your body, back to the space that you're in. Eventually land with a pile, or your hands in a pile on top of your heart. And you do one final check and you notice how you're feeling different than when we started, noticing what's shifted for you physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally. So take all of that in, send yourself love and gratitude for creating this space, for showing up, for working hard. And finally, just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. Great to see everybody. Thank you.